Good morning and welcome to another beautiful edition of Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. And this wonderful morning, I'll be taking a look at wonderful stories making the round of sport. And I have the expert analyst himself, Samson Balogun, and also Fola on the show this wonderful morning. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi. Yesterday, we had a report from the camp of Kano Pillars and also Shooting Stars about the situation happening after the game right there in Kano that ended 1-1. And, the fans had to pop it in the stadium. But yesterday, we got the report that Kano Pillars FC have been hit with a sanction. But before that, I'm sure seeing the screen right now is where I have my Bible, yes, sir, and my rosary. Aside from my Bible and my rosary, I'm sure you can see this. I have holy water that I personally prayed about and I'm prepared for. And also, I want the camera to pan to me quickly, where you can see my calculator also. So it's all ready for the game between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Benin Republic. Yes. Now, let me welcome Samson. Samson, good morning to you.
Well, good morning to you.
I don't know why you're breathing hard. Samson, I'm prepared already for the game against Super Eagles and Benin Republic. Am I wrong for doing this?
You see, you might not call me a nationalist. You might think I'm not patriotic, but sometimes I just think some things are just a waste of time, even from the word cool. So do not waste your time, because even if by mistake they qualify through, as the second, placed team, and they go through to the playoff. They are not just playing playoff in Africa; they are playing a worldwide playoff. So meaning that they still stand, chance of getting knocked out. I mean, we have seen them disappoint so many times. So I'm not too, I won't be too surprised.
Okay. Let me leave Samson because it doesn't look like he has so much support for the Super Eagles today.
I am supporting the Super Eagles.
It doesn't.
I just don't want faith in them grinding out the results.
Okay,
so
I agree.
They are two different things.
They're two different things. Okay, no problem. So are you rooting for the Super Eagles today?
Yes, I am in Nigeria. I'm rooting for the Super Eagles.
Okay, that's fine.
What I'm trying to say in essence is that I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I do not want to suffer after the game. So most definitely, I'm watching the game like a Cameroonian would watch this game.
This game, okay, that's fine. Yes, Fola, actually
as you can see,
full support.
I'm a patriotic
a real patriotic Nigeria supporting Super Eagles. Fola, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning, Samson. The unpatriotic Nigerian is claiming to be a patriotic
I'll gladly
Nigerian.
accept that. Gladly.
All right, let's look at the major stories making the round of the world of sport this wonderful morning. And like I said, we'll be taking the stories from Kano Pillars. There you have it on the screen already. And have been hit with a massive sanction. And I'm going to be asking, Fola and Samson, what is the best way to deal with situations like this? But before that, this is coming through from the NFF body and giving us the sanction from Kano Pillars yesterday. The breaking news is Kano Pillars hit with heavy sanction following the weekend incident. They have been fined 9.5 million naira, banished to Castina for at least 10 games of the rest of the season if safety do not improve. Also, they have been deducted 3 points and 3 goals. Now, there you have it on the screen. That's the full, statement coming through from the NFF organizers body. Samson Balogun, I think this is the measure right now for Kano Pillars, and this is what they are facing at this point in time. What's the way fans that would want to have situations like this?
You see, there are things that should have been done in the first place. Let me cite an instance. If you watch the German Bundesliga quite well, you will understand that some teams know exactly what their fans are capable of doing, so they prepared for that. If you check, the Borussia Dortmund Stadium, that's Westfalen Stadium.
Yes. That's the Signal Iduna Park.
Signal Iduna Park.
Yeah.
So, if you check the stadium quite well, there is a net that is as tall as anything you want to think about in the world. So there is no way you are breaking through that net and entering the pitch. So they know what their fans are capable of doing, right? If you look at the UK, they have advanced to a level where they don't need to barricade. But obviously, you know that for every individual that enters that stadium, you have a record. And then there are cameras everywhere that knows exactly who the perpetrators are. Ask Kano Pillars, who are the perpetrators? They can't tell you. They don't even know. And if they know, they are definitely not going to come out and tell you, oh, these are the people who broke the gate and came out. I mean, we should have gotten to a stage where, you see, one of the things we have done successfully in Nigeria over time is the fact that we have been able to celebrate mediocrity. And we glorify indiscipline so much that, you know, people are beginning to see it as the order of the day, as the right thing. Someone mentioned that, oh, Kano is a volatile place, and when things happen, they tend to, you know, take law into their own hands and then act. I mean, that's you giving an excuse for acting irrationally, and that should not happen. So if it had been in a different situation, it happens to Shooting Stars, and when it happened, I was at the stadium just this season, and that was, you know, that should be the first game of the season or the second. I think they drew against Ikorodu City. Yes, that was the draw against Ikorodu City. So I was at the stadium, I was at the press tribune, and something happened. The game ended in a draw, another disappointing home game for Shooting Stars, and the DJ started playing music. So someone from somewhere threw bottled water at the laptop. It broke.
It broke,
Fight wanted to erupt. But one thing happened. It was the fans that were telling other fans to calm down. This is not the time to fight. We cannot afford to do this. We know what happened to us last season when we were sanctioned and some of our home games were played behind closed doors. I mean, that experience was traumatizing enough for some fans to say, look, this team is too important to me for me not to be at the stadium, regardless of the results. You cannot. So it was some fans that stopped the other ones from causing chaos at the stadium, and everything went to bed. And there was a time when, you know, that happened, and then people took laws into their own hands, you know, and things happened. They started throwing things to the pitch, and eventually Shooting Stars were suspended. Now, what I'm trying to drive at is, within that short period of time, Shooting Stars fans matured. They discovered, oh, look, as a civilized human being, there are things you should not do. As someone who knows exactly what he or she is doing, I mean, violence do not solve anything. It further disrupts the process and most definitely, you know, causes more chaos. So, they have matured. And since then, we have seen the trajectory of how Shooting Stars fans have been acting. No crisis at the stadium, even when the result do not go their way, even when the referee makes mistakes, they know that referees are human eventually, and then they just move past that. Now, let's juxtapose that to what happened to Kano Pillars. Check the last 4 or 5 years. How many times have they been sanctioned? Some things do not change.
Yeah, true.
I don't want to believe it's because it's in the north. I want to believe that there are some people who are not doing their job as they should. One, you know that it's a volatile place. Who opened that gate in the first place? How did the fans get into the pitch? So these are things. So if the fence or the gate is not tall enough, make it taller.
Make it taller.
Make it taller, yes.
And if it is taller, provide stewards adequate security at the stadium. So when they realize that, oh, there is heavy security at the stadium, you know there are some things they will not do. So going forward, I think there should be adequate security measures at the stadium. It's not just about the police. The NSCDC are there. And of course, you know, some people should be there to control traffic. And just like Shooting Stars did at the beginning of the season, invite stewards to the stadium. There's something Shooting Stars did that, you know, at a point, people wanted to argue, but eventually I saw the reason why, you know, well, maybe let's just do it. Some tagged some of the stewards as thugs, right? So, oh, they brought thugs to the stadium, and then they have given them a job to come and work at the stadium, and then you begin to wonder, oh, are they really thugs? But then something happened. When Ikorodu City came, they almost had a crisis. So immediately the game ended, they realized some fans were still outside. So some of these guys that they called thugs led these players out of Wadama Simba Stadium to a place where they could leave and go to Lagos.
Easily, agree.
Right? So they played their role.
Agree.
So why not bring all the stakeholders? These people who actually, you know, encroached and went into the stadium, they had reasons to go there, and they had people who they would listen to at all times. Bring them to the drawing table. Let's work together. We cannot afford to do this over and over again. So that's one of the reasons adequate security is very important.
So I want
the sanctions do not really do anything.
Yeah. So
they will continue to pay the money.
So that's what I'm going to now, Fola. You know, 9.5 million naira. They have been paying this fine since 2019.
So when they pay money, it doesn't really matter.
When
you deduct points that are very rare to come by in the NPFL, they will sit tight.
So my question now is, aside from the point deduction, so do you also believe that maybe if the right measure, this is my own measure I feel, because I'm going to ask you your own measure that can be taken also to correct such a situation, should we now ban this team from the league, send them back to NNL or NLO, or say they're not part of the league again? What's your own? That's my own measure. What do you think is the right measure?
Send them back to NNL or NLO. is that not what they will go and do at
No, because
NNL?
now because if you send them back to NNL, they are not. It's going to be a struggle again to come back to the NPFL. So maybe there will be a realization of this is where we are, because immediately you're not playing again in the NPFL. You're already now you're already relegated.
You're not playing in the NPFL.
You're back to the NNL.
Your fans are still behaving the way they were behaving in NPFL in NNL.
So what is your own correction? That's my own. So what do you think is the best way, to solve the situation? Because something I said, if we keep going on with a sanction of 9.5, 12.5, at the end of the day, they're not even going to pay it once. It's going to be paid instrumentally at the end of the day.
These monies are not being paid by individuals.
Individuals, yes.
This money is being paid by the state government. So it's easy for them to get the money.
Okay.
So it's not really about the money.
So
right?
The money doesn't
I
mean
mentioned
anything
something.
to them.
Yeah.
You cannot kick a team unless there are serious offenses. You cannot kick a team out of the league.
I agree.
Right? What you can do is to do point deduction, just like they did.
Point deduction.
Well, at this time, 3 points, not so bad. They don't really have much.
Yeah.
We have seen situations where teams were deducted 10 points.
And if you remember, there was a certain time Kano Pillars were deducting points that that point deduction took them to NNL.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
yes, it happened to Kano Pillars. So at this point in time, are you saying point deduction is fair enough?
It's actually fair. Eventually, just like you said, you realize that this is not where we are supposed to be. And if, it continues, I mean, a team that is aspiring to play in the, CAF Champions League or maybe the CAF Confederations Cup, and you suddenly find yourself in the relegation zone. So this is enough reason for you to sit tight and get things done. So I do believe that point deduction is very important. I mean, that's the best way to go. At this time, yes, they were fined and then point deduction added to it. Sometimes they are suspended, sanctions.
Yes, and their stadium also. So
right.
they're playing
They'll be playing behind close. You see, it's even when they play at Casina, it will likely be behind closed doors. So, see, one of the things that, I mean, the 12th player on the field, the 12th player on the field are the fans. So if they are not there, that means you are short one. And your opponent has a better advantage over you.
All right. Let's take
Lagos.
All right, let's move away from the sanction to Kano Pillars. Let's take more stories, because yesterday we were also discussing about the poor officiating from the referees. And MPFL recommends sanctions for referees over poor officiating. The board of the Nigeria Premier Football League, MPFL, has recommended sanctions for referees over abysmal officiating in the match day 8 encounters of the 2025-2026 season. The league body, in a statement made by its CEO, Davidson Awami, urged the Nigeria Football Federation to review the performance of some of the officials. Some match officials in match day 8 fixtures between Kano Pillars and Shooting Stars, as well as the 2 match officials in Nasarawa United versus Rangers, have been recommended for a review of performances. The MPFL requested that the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, reappraise their sustainability to handle further MPFL games. The MPFL, in a separate letter to the NFF Match Officials Appointment Committee, requested a review of the performance and stepping down of certain referees. Mohammed B. Tuta of Adamawa State, a referee council, and assistant referee Abam Yafat of Bedway, and also Shehu Issa of Adamawa. Also, for the match between Nasarawa United and Rangers, the MPFL also requesting for the review of performance of central referee Ikechiku Taiwo of the Rivers State Referee Council, and also assistant Usman Okpayemi Edward from Osun State. There you have it, Samson Balogun. It looks like the MPFL are taking actions already, because we spoke about the situation of the referees yesterday. Let me start off with you. This is already a stepping stone in action, and I feel that more of this should happen if we don't get things right when it comes to officiating, our games in Nigeria.
Yeah. That sanction is actually, I think it's okay. But at the end of the day, yesterday we were talking about the referees, scared for their lives, or scared for their well-being. That's why sometimes they make those wrong decisions. And like Kano Pillars fans that were very violent yesterday, in the last match,
Sunday,
the referee could have, if the referee makes a decision against Kano Pillars, and the fans are ready, it's okay, this man, when we go to the market on Sunday, on Monday, when we see him, maybe we will just do something. He might be scared for his well-being. That's why sometimes they make those wrong decisions. So sometimes I think those referees should be sat down and say, okay, why are you making... After they've been reoriented.
Okay, you made that statement yesterday that they should reorientate this referee.
They need to, because if we are watching the English Premier League and we are seeing the way they are playing their matches, and we see the way the referee makes decisions, and we see when the referee says, sometimes the referee just does this, and the player, gets his acts right. I agree. But in Nigeria, if the referee does this, the player will do like this. Like, what do you mean? You don't understand. So sometimes the referees are scared for their well-being. Okay, why are you scared for your well-being? Is it because they need to do something about that? Take care of our referees too.
Okay, I'm going to ask you something quickly. This is the recommendation sanctions already for this referees. You look at the game against Nasarawa United and Rangers. That was not a penalty called from anywhere, and that was given as a penalty. Also, you look at the game against Kano Pillars and Shootings, but there you have it. These referees are now under sanction for suspension. I think going forward for our officiating, referees when it comes to games like this.
You see, when the umpire is being checked, I think that puts the game in such a space where accountability is, is put in a very big place where everyone wants to be accountable. Judging by the fact that that someone will ask you questions eventually. Referees are not gods on the field of play. They're just there to take decisions on behalf of everyone. And it is just their responsibility to make sure that they take the best decisions. And eventually, I want to let people know that, referees do make mistakes too. They are humans. Yeah. But when you see deliberate actions in their mistakes, then you begin to question the integrity of the league, the integrity of the referee, and the refereeing body. Yeah. And now, for every association, for every body, for every organization, there's nothing you can do about it. You have bad eggs, and those they will be there. Whether through incompetence, whether through lack of knowledge of the job, or through intentionality, just like I mentioned earlier, or maybe through monetary gains, these things will happen. And it's already clear that the Nigerian league actually frowns at decisions like this, and there is a punishment for everyone who has. So let's look at the current situation and what is going to happen to the referees. One, some of them will be stepped aside. You will not referee in the MPFL and most likely be relegated to NNL or NNL. And that's where they came from in the first place. You see, it's actually disgraceful that we are still saying this in this era. I'm not saying that they are machines. We still see mistakes in the EPL, true. German Bundesliga, the Spanish La Liga, and most definitely the Italian Serie A. Mistakes do happen. But then when you see these mistakes, you would, some of us tend to defend these referees because we even before making that mistake, we have seen some correct decisions being made. So that could have been a mistake. Oversights do happen. Most especially when the referee is not looking in the direction of where the action took place. When it comes to card situations, but when it comes to penalties, there's a movement for the referee on the field of play. Just like you move like this and move and come back. So when you are moving, your job is to be as close as possible to where the action is taking place. You are not to back where the ball is. The moment the ball, flies above you, you turn. So you can see what is going on, and you don't just turn, you move closer.
Do they know these things?
That's why the referee has to be fit. Because you have to be as fast as the players. So you cannot be a referee and be, a lazy person. Otherwise you'll be making wrong decisions like this. So one of the areas where I want them to look at, aside from these sanctions, is that how qualified are these referees? We have seen situations where African referees will be invited to be at the World Cup to refer games, and then Nigerian referees are, conspicuously missing. Why? Because the league itself is in shambles.
Are they even in CAF competitions? Are they even in AFCON? They're not even represented here.
The league itself is in
a show that,
no, and the credibility of your league determines
how
your referees are presented.
Fact.
And if you cannot get that right on the home scene, you have a challenge already on your plate.
Exactly.
So we have to work towards qualification for these referees. And if they are qualified, are they FIFA licensed referees? Are they CAF licensed referees? Someone came to Ilorin, and came to Abeokuta, and that was their Asante Kotoko coach. Was talking about Coach Babatunde Sonny of Kwara United, and said a coach that doesn't even have a license. That was an insult. And the coach has not even come out here to say, look, I have this license he's talking about. So it means he doesn't have it.
It doesn't.
So that's what I'm saying. People do the job without having the requisite qualifications. And you cannot blame them. That means that he has not gone through the training. If he had gone through the training, he would know better. So someone should take training and retraining seriously. And aside from that, put referees in a very good condition. Now, remuneration should be very important. Pay them well. And when you pay them well, you also know these volatile locations, just like someone mentioned earlier. Why not provide adequate security for the referees? Their lives and properties also matter to them. At least they are going to refer a game. The left family members at home who are actually expecting them to come back. So football should not be a do or die affair. As far as I'm going to refer a game, I should be confident that I'm coming back home safe and sound. So these are things that we should be looking at. Sanctions or no sanctions. If you are sanctioning anyone now, it's as a result of the incompetence of the league itself, of the refereeing body, and of the individuals involved. So if we all go back to the drawing board and fix each and everyone's areas of specialization, I think when we come back, we'll be doing it the right way.
All right, we hope to do it the right way. That's the question we are begging for every day on the show. One thing, Dominion Sport will do for you, and also with the expert analyst, Samson, and also Fola, is to also set us on a path where we can have things done properly. We hope for the very best right there in MPFL. Let's take more stories. This is coming through from Bendel Insurance. Kennedy Boboye named the technical advisor of Bendel Insurance. The management of Bendel Insurance have named Kennedy Boboye as a new technical advisor in the ongoing 2025-2026 Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL season. This was contained in a statement signed by Kende, and the Director and Media of Communication of Bendel Insurance. The statement reads, the appointment follows a mutual agreement between the management of Benin Arsenals and also Coach Boboye for him to assume full responsibility for the club's technical department with immediate effect. After a thorough evaluation, the management found Coach Boboye sustainable for the role and also offered him a sustainable 2-year contract. The decision is based on his proven track record, impressive credentials, and also extensive experience in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Arrangements have been concluded for the official unveiling for the Delta-born technician in Benin City on Tuesday. There you have it. Kennedy Boboye is back with Bendel Insurance. Let's see, can he take Bendel Insurance back again to enjoy good football for them, Samson?
You see, if you talk about coaches of repute in the NPFL, if you are going to mention 5-6 names, I think Kennedy Boboye ranks well.
I agree.
On the list. He's been there. He's a league winner. He's done so many good things
so well,
in the NPFL. And you just can't, sweep his quality and technical know-how under the carpet. Now, if you look at what happened last season, the same issue is here to solve. Happened at Atlant Football Club of Owerri last season. A coach was asked to step aside. Kennedy Boboye came on board, turned things around, and then the coach was asked to come back again. Now, the question now is, the technical advisor who was asked to step aside, where is he now? Has he been relieved of his duties? What is Kennedy Boboye going to do in the team? What role is he filling, actually, in the real sense of it, not just about the title? What role will Kennedy Boboye fill at the team? But one thing I am quite sure of is that Bendel Insurance, the Benin Arsenals, already have one of the best coaches in the NPFL, in their team. Is a valuable addition. And I can tell you for a fact that give Coach Kennedy 5 games, And if he doesn't turn it around, I know for sure he will be the one to say, look, I can't work here, I have to go. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's one of the best when you talk about the MPFL. He's one of the coaches you can call on an emergency basis to turn the, things around, turn the tides around for your team. And that's exactly what is going on right now. I know that whoever mentioned Kennedy Boboye to them, to employ, I mean, he has done well. He has done them a very, a favor. I mean, that's quite interesting. But the only thing I want to trash out, that I still know that this story will develop. What happened to the former coach? Where will he be? Where will he be as Kennedy Boboye has resumed? It is injustice for you to ask someone to step aside without a definitive approach to his contract. Is his contract being terminated? Is he feeling a different role at the team? Is he totally gone? Has he left the team by mutual consent? I mean, this should be made clear to the people. We don't want to, nothing should be shrouded in secrecy when we talk about contracts of players, coaches, technical advisors, or the like. So, Kennedy Boboye is welcome to Bedell Insurance, and I do hope that, it doesn't affect Shooting Stars when they play.
All right. Good word. Let's move away from that. It's about time we talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of the big clash. Starting off by 5 p.m. today. The Nest of Champions await a victory for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But before that, we're going to listen to head coach Eric Shells speak to us ahead of that game coming through today at Oyo ahead of this big one. This is Eric Shells speaking to us.
Good evening, Victor Ademola. I would say that during the qualification campaign, you have managed to get wins with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and that has put us in a very good spot compared to how we started. Coach, we know our future is not in our hands when it comes to topping the group. But looking at the calculations, because as Nigerians have got a lot of calculators already, we can make the playoff. That is 100% in our hands. If we can get as much goals as possible against Benin, we can get to 15 points after the deduction. Top Burkina Faso currently on 15 points as well, but they have a plus 6 goal difference. With that calculation, we have plus 3. We need to score at least 4 goals, unreplied goals, to be ahead of Burkina Faso. That's the calculation to maybe make the playoff 100% in our hands. It's in our hands, we can do that. Is the approach towards the game going to be targeted towards making the playoff guaranteed? If South Africa lose or draw, we go to the World Cup, we're happy, we're dancing here tomorrow evening. If they don't, we know we can still have a right path through the playoff because that is 100% in our hands. Would that be the approach to the game tomorrow?
Definitely you're right that there's concern. So what can I say now? So my only situation, I can give you another mathematical games, the only thing that I can say, like I said earlier, for me, I need to put my mind to my players. I need to think about this game first. We need to win, for sure. We need to win. And if I try to say, oh, maybe 2 goals, maybe 3 goals, maybe something happened during the game. So I need to think about every movie about the game. So this is what I told you. We need to be focused on our group, our gameplay, our player, how they feel now at this moment, right now, and tomorrow in the morning, and tomorrow in the afternoon before the game. So I need to check everything. But like I said, me first, and after that my group, and after the game project, and after the game. So we'll see after the game. So please.
All right, there you have it. Eric Shells speaking to us ahead of that big one happening today by 5 p.m. I have Samson and I have Fola Yegbe still in the studio with me at this wonderful morning. It's going to be a big clash ahead of this one. So I'm going to start off with Samson Balogun. Samson, ahead of this one, what must be done right and how do we secure our qualification to the World Cup next year? Now, we have 2 chances. South Africa are going to lose or going to draw, or maybe we'll make the playoff. For you, how do we get it right going into this game today? And I know that Benin Republic would want to make history. Also, we look at Cape Verde also making history yesterday. You know, Ghana back also in the World Cup. You know, you look at African teams too. So this is going to be a big one for Benin Republic. And also Ghana Draw are taking this team to the World Cup. For you, Samson, how does this work in favor for the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
Honestly, it's really sad to see, the hard work of Coach Genaro being debated at this time. I mean, he's done a wonderful job with the Benin Republic team.
I agree.
And I really, really wished, Nigeria is not in the phase where
we're the one.
His role
Yeah.
will be truncated and, thrown under the carpet, just like that. So it's really sad. But one thing is sacrosanct. When hard work is in play, when, unity is in the team, anything can happen. And that's what you are saying with the Benin Republic team. If you look at the value of the players in that team, you value all of the players.
Come on, Samson.
All of them.
Yeah.
They are not even as much as Victor Osimhen.
I was about to say that. He can foot the bills of all of them in a month.
Osimhen is about 80 million euros.
Yeah, a month. He will pay the salaries a month.
That's
monthly.
way more than what you have in the Togolese, the Benin Republic team. So it tells you how inconsistent and how not ready we are as a team. I mean, Nigeria. How do you parade the likes of Bruno Neyamachi, Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Osimhen, Tobu Arokudare, Moses Simon, Ademola Lookman, I mean, Alex Iwobi. I mean, these are William Troost-Ekong. These are players who, if you still want, William Troost-Ekong, if you want to, at least he's now, being phased out of football. His career is almost at that stage where we'll say, he's ending. But if you still want to buy a player like that, to still call you around 10 million euros.
Yeah, I agree. True.
I mean, that tells you of the quality in the team. So it's not just about the name. But what happened? Why have we not been able to translate that to quality football, and then results afterwards? That's the challenge. So we have not been able to be. If you see how the Beniners play, I mean, you would see them today, so nobody has to tell you that. I mean, they are so slick, they do not care. It's only in Nigeria that they care about, it's because the pitch is not good. It's because the goalpost is too far away from the center of the pitch. It is because the referee said we should not do. I mean, there are so many excuses for failure in Nigeria. And it's a Nigerian thing. We always generate excuses for failure. But if you are going to this game, nobody in that team should blame anyone for any reason. Now, we have seen situations where we are looking for goals. We want to score as many goals as possible to put us in a good space when qualification comes around. And then a certain Nwabali is trying to play.
He's trying to play it funny.
I don't understand. I mean, you could see the only goal they considered in their last game against Lesotho. You would see that was purely a goalkeeper's fault. I mean, how will a professional goalkeeper do that? And he almost put them in problem at the dying seconds of the game. Another problem. So if the strikers are not faltering, if the midfielders are not making errors, then the defenders will be doing one kind. And then after that, you see the goalkeeper also doing another thing. So it's more or less like something is wrong with that.
Something's wrong. I
There's
agree.
no unity in it.
The question now is, what exactly is the problem?
Okay,
if you
quickly,
say,
Samson.
he's the coach. Well, Coach Finidi George came. He wasn't good. Austin Eguavoen came. He wasn't good. Okay, now you have Eric Shells. He's also here now. So he's not good? Ask yourself this question.
You have Ose Pacero also.
Ose Pacero also did this. He started it. It was Ose Pacero that started. After Ose Pacero, Finidi George came on board and took over from him. After Finidi George, you are Austin Eguavoen as the technical advisor who stepped in 1-1 and then drew the other. And then you have Eric Shells as we speak. So for the same qualifier, you have had 4 coaches. So you begin to ask yourself about the transition in the team. Because inconsistency also breeds this kind of situation. There has never been a level of consistency. And then the quality of coaches we hire too. That's why we go to Sweden or anywhere to go and hire high school coaches from America. I mean, we have had one Las Lagerbäck who coached Nigeria. Ose Pacero, who didn't do anything good in his career, was a coach of the Super Eagles.
It's just a recommendation from
the last time we had the coach, there was that we had Betty Vost.
Yeah, Betty
was also a coach of the Super Eagles. Ask him about his, record before he became the Super Eagles.
I think most of them we had at that time was Westernoff.
The last time we had a coach was Clemens Westernoff. Well, another coach that really did well at a point was Bruno Metsu, who was also, at a point. See, we have derailed totally from what we know Nigeria to be. But then Going to this game, I mean, Nigeria needs to start off the block. There's no point containing Benin Republic. You have nothing to lose at this time. It is win or bust. Get as many goals as possible, especially in the first half, and then see how you can see out the game in the second. Otherwise, if you are waiting for the Beninois to come at you, if they get to go, that's all. That's all. No, there's no coming back.
Okay, so let me ask Fola, how do you see this team set up today? You know, what formation do you want to see? You know, Eric Shell put up against a good side like Benin Republic by 5 p.m. today?
You know, it's sad that we're still talking about this. I mean, it's sad, yeah. I mean, that Nigeria has to still be struggling. Like, okay, if a country scores against us, like, okay, we're out of the World Cup.
Yeah,
it's sad for a country like Nigeria to still be in that situation. But what's it called? At the end of the day, if you look at this team, you notice that a lot of times when they play, they don't play in unity. They are not united. They're just guys that, okay, I need to show my skills. Let me show my skills. Individually, let me show my skill. Not let us show our skills. Let us make a Nigeria proud. They are not in that. They don't have that mentality. So if today they come with that mentality of, oh, let me go and play ball. Don't let them say I did not come. Let them just say, okay, okay, and he came to play football today. That will not pay us. That will not work for Nigeria today. We have to have Troost-Ekong should be on the field as a defender, not as an individual defender, but as a defender with the other defenders. And what's it called? What's our striker's name?
Victor Osimhen.
Osimhen.
Yeah.
Osimhen should have that, okay, if they pass the ball to me, and if at all I know I cannot get that goal, I should look for someone else to pass the ball to, not that I should be selfish with the ball. If at all you're going to be selfish with the ball, make something come out of that. You understand? So don't let them be united today. They need unity.
For like speaking unity, and I think that's one thing I think we can also look forward to ahead of today's game. Let's look at you know, to the head-to-head as we wrap up the show ahead of this one. The head-to-head tie between Nigeria and Benin Republic. And I asked something quick one. Something yesterday. I mean, on the last time we faced Lesotho, you gave out your setup, which happened. You said you prefer to see a certain Aroko Dare and Osimhen Pierre. Today, what do you think the setup of the Super Eagles should look like today going into this game against Benin Republic?
I think the first approach is to unsettle the Beninois defense. And you cannot do that with just Victor Osimhen alone in that space. So I'll still go for two strikers, Tolu Aroko Dare.
But he didn't bring his A game, the last game out.
Yeah, these things do happen. You know, sometimes you plan for something and it doesn't work out that way. But his presence alone, you know, add meaning. Even though he did not do that well, but he was there and it was, you know, a major threat for the Lesotho defense. So in this same game, I would love to see Tolu Aroko Dare playing right behind Victor Osimhen, and then you see Moses Simon on the left, Samuel Chukwueze on the right.
Because Ademola Lookman would not be playing.
Would not be there. So that would be mass attack, mass defense. So we would also love to see two midfielders. That's Wilfred Ndidi and Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi will be withdrawn a little bit. So it's more or less like you are playing four midfielders. So the moment we don't have the ball, the two midfielders, two wingers come back to help in midfield. They can play inverted wing role and then go back on the flanks if we have the ball. Then at the back, William Troost-Ekong, Calvin Bassey, Ola Aina, and Bruno Yemachi.
Well, Ola Aina right now is injured. He's not going to be in the game. Ola Aina is out of this tie because
of course, that's where you have Benjamin Frederick.
So I wanted to ask you, would you prefer Zaidou Sanusi ahead of a Bruno Yemachi in this game?
No, just Zaidou Sanusi is, you know, defensively is solid.
Yeah.
But you know, when it's time to join the attack, might be a little bit. He's a little bit slow when it comes to joining the attack. But Bruno Yemachi is decisive when he goes up front, and then his recovery rate is way better than that of Zaidou Sanusi.
Okay. So quick one as we wrap up the show. What's your prediction for this one?
Well, I think it's going to end in a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
Yeah.
Which does not favor the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
Well, that's football. You don't win every game.
All right, Fola, what's your prediction ahead of this one?
Please, I don't want to.
Come on, quickly.
I'm hoping we win.
Okay,
We have to
so
win.
with what margin? With what margin is my
We
question?
have to go
quickly.
to this World Cup. I'm begging you. I'm begging you.
Why are you begging him?
I do not. I won't be playing for the Benin Republic team, so do not beg me. Don't beg
go
the
to the
Super
World
Eagles.
Cup,
All right, to
please.
bring their A game.
All right, for you to be able to join this conversation, where you can also win something on the show, make sure you drop your predictions right there to see how far you can go for this one. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are going to face Benin Republic, and a must-win game with goals margin, massive goals margin for them to see this one through to the playoffs. We hope for the very best for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Make sure you're rooting for them by 5 p.m. is the time, and make sure you are watching the game. Now, quick one before we wrap up the show. Let me inform you that Cape Verde also have picked up qualification for next year's World Cup. First time ever making history. Let's move away from that. A quick one. Happy birthday, yes, to our very own Temitope Shitu. We wish you the very best. One of the best crew that we have here, making sure the Radio Paparazzi
call him Shitu
money. Yes, making us fire on the show every day. We celebrate you. We say big thank you for all you do right here for Dominion Broadcast House. We appreciate you.
So there's after the show, there's after party.
No,
There must
okay.
be
So
a-
the quick one. Now, should we wait after the game of the Super Eagles or during the game of the
No,
Super
we
Eagles?
cannot wait for that. We might not be able to.
We're not able to enjoy
We might not be able
with
to.
all
So
sadness.
let's
And
do before
let's do
the Super
before and after. Okay, that's fine. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign up with this, and we're hoping for the
Amen
very
in
amen in
Jesus'
Jesus' name. We hope that we get the victory. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. That's all we can take. Have a fantastic one, and make sure you keep rooting for the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of this one. Bye for now. Enjoy yourself.